And I swear to God, I would have had an easier time at my high school getting my ass on the football field like Artie and Glee and actually playing a real game than it was for me to be in a musical. Like,
Right.
I swear to God, I
That
could have rolled
part.
my ass out. Hey, coach, can you put me in, coach? And he would have been like, absolutely. The
He'd
fucking
have been like, and now taking the field is the most inspirational player we have.
inspirational.
Hello and welcome to The View from 4 feet and 3 inches. I'm your host, Cassidy Huff. I am a white woman. My blonde hair is tied back today. I have baby blue podcasting headphones on. I have my black rimmed glasses, and I am wearing a navy blue shirt that says Disability Looks Like This in pink lettering that you can get right now on my merch shop. Please go get your merch. We love to see it. I am sitting in a faux leather chair with some pillows behind me, and I have an amazing guest today. My guest is my very good friend, Addie. Hi, Addie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being on. I'm so excited.
I am so excited to be here. My name is Addie Wisniewski. I am a white woman with dark brown hair that's kind of in a bob situation. I have white headphones on, and I'm wearing a red t-shirt, and I'm sitting in my wheelchair, which you honestly can't really see.
We
And
can't.
then, no, and then I have a blank gray backdrop behind me.
Love it. Okay, well, Addie, I am so excited to have you on. I literally asked you to be on the show like 2 days ago.
Yes.
And you texted me back and you were like, duh. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
pretty much. Heck yeah.
Addie, you and I have been friends for a few years.
Yeah, I think like a couple years now.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I know we first met at Rolettes, but I feel like we knew each other before that.
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
I think I don't. Well, I think that we met at Rolette's. I recognized you, but I didn't want to be like a freak and be like, "Hello." And so, but I think we had connected on social media maybe prior, but that was like our
I think so.
first actual meeting.
Yeah. Okay, so for those who don't know who you are, tell us about you. What do you do? Who you
Hmm.
are, all of the above.
Well, I'm Addie. I am a actor, singer, dancer, voice actor. I am 25 years old, and I live around Cleveland, Ohio. Um, I was born with osteogenesis imperfecta, which is a like brittle bone disorder, that is genetic, and yeah, I recently made my regional debut doing a production of Fiddler on the Roof at Cleveland Playhouse, which won the Tony for Best Regional Theater in 2015. So that was such like an honor
Wow.
to get to perform there this year and work with amazing people. And yeah, that's like a little quick overview about me. Um,
I love it. So you, just like me, were born with your disability. Talk a little bit
yes.
about your childhood growing up with a disability, schooling, how your parents handled it, whatever you want to share.
Yeah. Well, so I am the oldest child. I have a younger sister who is 21. And so, when I was born, I think a few days after I was born, they found out that I had my disability, osteogenesis imperfecta. Um, what I'm aware of is that when my mom was pregnant with me in utero, some of my long bones were measuring shorter. And so they actually were throwing around like different types of skeletal dysplasia. They were like, maybe she's going to have achondroplasia or something along those lines. And then shortly after I was born, they were like, no, it is in fact this. So I I just have to shout out my family because they are pretty amazing. Shortly after I was born, my mom and dad literally drove me to Montreal, Canada, where we waited to be seen by a specialist at the time, um, for OI at like the Montreal like Shriners Hospital, I believe. And so my mom was like, I'm literally gonna wait here until we're seen. And so kind of from the get go, my mom was like on top of it. And so, growing up with a disability, I believe I got my first wheelchair around the age of 3. So the way that my disability works is, you break bones, right? My arm's actually broken now. Fun fact. I actually just
No, it is
realized I don't,
not.
yeah, I just realized I don't have my sling on, but we're rocking and rolling with
Addie,
that. And it's okay because I'm not gonna move it. So, anyways, um, with OI, like bones break, and so my kind of status of, oh my gosh, I just hit my whole setup and it went wiggly. My, the status of disability changes, right? So like I would walk sometimes, but then break a leg, you know what I mean? So that was not ideal. But I got my first chair around 3. Um, and growing up, I did not see, like many of us, myself accurately represented or represented at all. Um, I have a core memory of being very confused and asking my mother why only like old people were in wheelchairs. I was very like, what is happening? Um,
I'm in a wheelchair. Why is nobody else?
yeah, I was like, why are only old people? Like, I love, no hate to, no ageism is happening. Love
No
the elderly, love
ageism.
everyone. But, I, as a kid, I was like, what is going on? And so I think that when you're, you know, the only one like you, right, in your area or in your class, there's sort of this like subconscious burden that you
Mm.
carry. Um, because even though you know that you already know that you're different to an extent, right? But then society puts all these extra things on top of it. And it's like, wow, thanks for reminding me that I in fact do not walk around. You know what I mean? Um,
Appreciate it. Thank you for the
yeah,
reminder.
yeah, thanks for the reminder. But I, growing up, I want to say I was around maybe like 8 or 9 when I went to my conditions conference, the OI conference, where I met some kids that were my age that were just like me, and that was life changing. But then it's like you go home and then it's over, right? And
And then
so
you're back to the real world, yeah.
yeah, I was integrated in public school. I had an IEP. But I until like I think I was in high school, I was like one of the only, if not the only, wheelchair user. So it was like everyone knew who I was, but
Yeah,
I didn't
that
know
was my
them.
case too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was the only disabled kid that wasn't in special ed.
yeah,
And I was the only mobility aid user in regular ed
yep,
classes. And so everyone knew who I was. I was the one that would
oh
run
yeah,
you over if you were in my
oh
way.
yeah.
Sorry.
Good for you.
Um yeah, but like I everyone knew who I was too, not because I was popular, but because I looked different.
No, literally. I used to actually try everything not to be popular. It was actually pretty strange behavior. Um, the other day, like a One Direction song came on, and my nurse, who is lovely, she helps drive me places. And she was like, "Oh, did you like boy bands?" And I was like, "Girl, no." I was like anti boy band because I thought it was
Boy
uncool
bands,
to
what are
be like everyone
those?
else. I'm like, you're already standing out, dude. Like you already are disabled and the only one, and you have undiagnosed ADHD, fun fact. So you're
Fun
obviously
fact.
already making a, impression. You don't need to be anti boy bands because it's cool. I was like, I don't like One Direction. I don't like Justin Bieber. Like, I was like, my dad and I would listen to like AC/DC. I was like, all right. And that was giving
You were
pushing
like,
the
you
energy.
don't know me.
You don't know me.
You don't know me.
Like,
I'm
no.
I have a secret identity.
Yeah, I'm actually too cool for school. I'm just kidding. And I would like intentionally befriend other kids that like were like misfits. I don't know why. I didn't have like it wasn't like a project because that sounds awful. But I remember like having friends that I knew it for a fact people did not they didn't have a lot of friends. So I'd like roll up to kids and I'd be like, "You're my friend," and I'd like talk to them. Like
Hi, what's your name?
yeah, what's your name? Okay. Like I had this like little squad of people in like seventh grade of like these other girls who were like I mean, we had someone who was like goth and like loved screamo and then
I
there
love it.
we were like checking off all of these boxes. To this day I have no idea where any of them are. However,
You're like, don't. I hope you're doing well. Reach
we're
out if
short
you're
lived.
listening.
I'll tell you that story later. My first memorable experience with ableism, where I was destroyed. But seventh grade is not for the weak. I'll tell you that. But yeah, I was like
Seventh grade
all the
is
misfits.
brutal. They're mean.
Kids are actually astounded, and I don't even want to know what it's like now. Like, if anyone is
Seventh
listening who
grade
is a
girls
kid,
specifically are horrible.
oh, I could not
They
even
are like
imagine.
diabolical. Like teenage boys or like middle school age boys are
Yeah.
they have a lot of testosterone
Oh
and
my
they just
God.
want to punch everything. But teenage girls are like psychological warfare. Like
Uh,
it's so bad.
Genuinely, whoever is out here listening, who is a teacher, God bless you. Truly.
Truthfully.
If you're a
Yeah,
parent,
it's
God bless you.
like boys will just like punch you. Girls will be like, no, you know what? I'm gonna ruin your entire reputation for the rest of your life.
Oh my God.
Like, it's
I
actually not that deep, actually.
no, I don't know if you want to know. I have two
I do.
stories
I want to
from
know. I want to know all
adolescence.
of them.
All right, we're gonna start with this fun one. It's the story. This feels like Disney when they're like, "This is the story of the time I." Um, this is the story of the time that I learned what the word trigger warning for a cuss word slut is. Okay, I'm the year of our Lord, probably like 2012, 2013. It's like I'm in sixth, maybe seventh grade, and I'm in my house, and I find out that, and I don't want to name names but I'm just gonna
Mm.
name. I'm not gonna dox anybody. But I
Okay,
will
great.
say first. I will say the
First
first
names.
name.
First names are
This
fine.
kid's name was Kevin, okay? And
Of
Kevin
course it
was a
was.
popular boy, and there were other popular boys. Well, they decided that they were going to write a list, okay, called the slut list, right? I, being an only child, being innocent as hell, I did not know what a slut was. However, I thought that it was the best thing that I did not make
Addie.
this list, okay? And
Oh
here's how it
no.
went. Every single girl from the seventh grade made this slut list, and it was like passed around because I think this was like the beginning of like the iPod Touch, and like Instagram was in its infancy.
Touch.
Yeah,
Please.
like we were like they were like kick me, like add me on Kick. It was like they were dating, and it's just like they're smiling
Like
at each
Google
other,
me. Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, okay, so I find out I'm not on a slut list. I'm like, we are the champion. I'm like, I am absolutely ecstatic. And I was like, hell yeah, you guys are on the slut list and not me. Well, then, as I got older, and I'm sure thereafter, I started thinking about it. And I started thinking about the fact that there were every other girl, except for
Mm.
me, a girl with Down syndrome, a like a larger, curvier girl, and then someone else. Like I don't even remember who the other person was. There was like four of us not on the slut list. And it was at that
Out of
moment,
the whole seventh grade.
out of the entire seventh grade, it was at that moment that I knew that I think that kind of like hit me where I was that was one of those like memories of like okay I am not desirable, and not because
Mm.
I did not want to be a slut in the seventh grade, like I was playing with Lego friends, like I was
You
not
were
in the
like, not
mood.
that I wanted to be on the slut list.
No,
However,
but that kind of a thing, you
yeah.
start thinking about that as you grow up. I'm like, why am I not? Does it like I wasn't? like why am I not desirable in the I do not want to be again desirable for a 12-year-old boy. However, it's those memories and I'm
Well,
like,
but as a
"Oh,
12-year-old, yeah, you did.
yeah." I was
You
like, "Well,
know,
I'm
like you
happy if
wanted the regular,
yeah.
like thing of like, oh, I like you and you like me, like the
Yeah,
fun, like flirty kind of like
truly.
dating experience, whatever,
Oh,
if you can even call it dating in middle school, you know, like you
no.
wanted that. I wanted, everybody wants that.
Yeah. I think everyone wants that, but I remember like when my like being explained like what a slut was, and I thought that was like a bad thing. So I was like, no. But then I was like, oh my God, why is it me and then three other girls that like society doesn't deem as desirable or attractive? And
Mm.
then that was a formative experience. Then going into my teen years, I'm sure subconsciously, but now it's a funny story. I'm like, throwback to the slut list of 2012 when I was
So
not on it.
Kevin, so Kevin, if you're watching, Kevin,
He's probably a finance
why
bro.
or business? He's probably in business.
Business over for
Or like
currency.
or real estate, one of the
No,
three.
low key. I'm gonna look it up. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna
Look
like
him up.
dox him. I wonder what he's doing. Let me look up
No,
on
I
his
want to know what he's
LinkedIn.
doing.
Let me
Look him
see.
up on
But
LinkedIn.
that was just like the one boy I remember. Like
So
I
Kevin, if you're listening, why are you ableist? Truthfully, why didn't you
listen.
put Addie on the slut list?
I listen. Okay, Kevin appears to be a traveler.
Okay, we love that for Kevin.
Definitely was in a fraternity. Ooh,
Well,
uh, let me look at. I don't know. Where are they now? Um,
where are they now?
apparently in the state of Indiana. So,
Mm.
love.
So
Okay. Well,
Kevin from
anyway,
Indiana,
I'm like, obviously
ableism.
that's a very common white man name, but not me being like hiding. Like, I'm gonna be like, someone's gonna come and get, like someone's gonna come and get me. Like Kevin, you're not putting on
Kevin
a
is
spot list.
outside.
What the hell? Live, laugh,
No,
love.
I think that's like such a formative experience. Like, yeah, it's a funny story, but at the
Truly.
same time, it's like I had those too, where I was like,
Yeah.
I wanted to date so bad in
Yes.
middle school, like pretty much all 12 years of public school. Like that is what I wanted because that's what
Yeah.
everybody else was doing. Probably in
Right.
like third grade is when kids were like, I'm dating Josh now, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and I was like, I want to date somebody. Like, what? And it wasn't even that I wanted to date somebody because I was so independent. I was kind of like, actually, I don't really want you around me. But
Yes.
like, I want to
Truth.
have the experience of dating
Yeah.
somebody because that's what everybody else was doing. And I felt like they
Yeah.
were so far ahead in like life experience, especially once you start
Hmm.
hitting middle school, high school, later in high school too. It's like
Yeah.
I'm the only one who's never dated anybody, so that's cool and great. And I love that for me. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Literally.
until college where I was like, oh, okay. I'm actually okay with not dating anybody.
Yeah.
And then Kaz came along and I was like, well, that's great for
Well,
me.
Jeremiah.
Well, I
Well,
guess I'm tied to somebody else for the rest of my life, so
you know
great.
what?
Um,
Love you though. That really is, how I think it should work out in a way. Like you're okay on your own, and then you find the one, and it's like, oh,
exactly. Exactly. But I think you have to be okay with being by yourself first.
yes, yeah.
But I didn't understand that as a child. I was like, I just want to do
Neither
what
did
everybody
I.
else is doing. And I found out quickly at a really early age that I wasn't considered societally desirable
Right.
because I had a disability. And
Yeah.
and so it was like a really strange experience for me because I wanted to fit in so bad, but then as I grew up I was like I actually don't really want to fit in, but like I still kind of do. And
Yeah.
so it was really weird.
Yeah. I think there's something to be said about like those initial feelings of like when like I think that was probably mine, where I was like, oh
Mm.
snap, like this is my realizing that I'm not what society deems as desirable. And like,
Mm.
oh, yeah,
Yeah, like what am I supposed to do? Or like then I don't know, like
really,
I always had these existential questions for myself. I was like, well, if 12-year-old boys don't find me desirable now, how am I ever going to grow up and find a husband and get married and have children? Like I was always
right,
like, well, I guess I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life then.
right,
So
yeah,
like at 12, and that sounds so dramatic now, but as a child, like that's genuinely what I thought. I was like,
yeah,
well, I guess this is my life. And having a younger sister who's able bodied, I'm sure you can relate too, like she was getting boys who liked her in like first
correct,
grade.
correct,
And so then I was like, I'm 3 years older.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, or that
what's
feeling of
happening?
when,
I know you want to see more of my content. That's why I started a Patreon just for you. If you subscribe to a monetary tier on my Patreon, you automatically get access to hours of unseen footage. Behind the scenes, post shows, weekly life updates, weekly private live streams, and of course, so many never before seen pictures and videos of Champ and Monty. So what are you waiting for? Head over to my Patreon and check out all of the perks that I have for you.
like, my sister and I, well, I coined the term, but so she's able-bodied and she's actually like tall, like,
So
and
is mine.
yeah, and so I remember like when she had some of those experiences or whatever, I would always, it was almost like it felt like the roles were almost reversed. Like I didn't seek her for advice, but I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm kind of like watching her do what the normal trajectory of a teenage girl is. But then also
Yeah.
I coined this term for hand me downs called hand me ups because when she was done, like with something, like she'd
They're
have a
mine
cute
now.
top, and I'd be like, okay, I want it now. And so I'm older, so I hand me ups, like give it to me. But yeah, it's
It's
interesting.
mine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine.
I always had that experience with my sister too. She outgrew me probably by the time she was about 3. And
No,
I was
literally.
like 6 or 7. Um, and I remember I was really upset when she was a baby because I have always loved babies. And I remember my mom saying to me when I was 3.5 when she was born, so I was probably about 4 at this point. And she was like, "No, Cassie, you can't hold the baby. She's too big. Like, you can't hold her." And I was so
No.
distraught. I was so upset because I was like, what do you mean? Like, I
Yeah.
don't understand. Like, I'm the big sister. She was like 6 months old. I was like, but she's still a baby. And my mom's like,
Oh.
yeah, but you're tiny. Like, and you're also
Yeah.
recovering from surgery. It's not the
No,
time.
literally.
Like,
Mhm.
it's not the time. And also, the roles were reversed for us too. I don't know if you've had this experience, but the roles were reversed for her and I too because I was in the hospital so much that
Yes.
she very quickly, just because of who she is and how empathetic she is, she wanted to help with everything she possibly could. And so she was like, I want to help Cassidy walk to the bathroom. I want to push Cassidy in her wheelchair. I want to help Cassidy with physical therapy exercises. I want to help Cassidy with this. And just because that's who she is. And so she's very much a caretaker just as a person.
That's amazing.
And so it very quickly became like she was the older sister, especially
Yeah.
once she outgrew me, because then I was like, well, great.
Yeah.
Um, and so she very quickly took on like a almost caregiver type role.
Yeah.
Like she and I went to the same elementary school. That's the only school that we went to together. We went to different middle and high schools. And so elementary school, I remember her like watching out for me on the playground, you know?
Yeah.
And I realized I was like, this is not like a normal
Right.
older younger sister relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, I relate to that a lot about like, always recovering or in the hospital because we in common, I think one of the things we have in common is our high number of surgeries and spine surgeries and
Wait, how many have
things,
you had?
like 50.
Dang it. I have 43.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I always like argue with my mom because I feel like every time I have something, she like adds like five more in case I'm like, do not
She's like,
I'm
it's
like,
actually
no,
56. And
yeah, I was like, girl, well, I actually don't know, but it's definitely around 50. And I don't even think I count it like going to be sedated because for me personally, I don't know. But so if I was sedated, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, the dynamics I think of having a younger sibling that it's almost like they have, it's like they have the same parents, but two separate parents,
yeah.
like parenting a child with a disability who's medically complex and constantly having a surgery is so much different than parenting a non-disabled, typical healthy child that is hitting all of those milestones. And then, you're having to like you're not worrying that I'm sneaking out of the house, but what if my sister, you know what I mean? Like I never
Yeah.
went to a party in high school like that, but my sister had the normal experiences. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, I talk to my
yeah,
mom all the time about this. Actually, I've talked to her on the podcast about this. Like, were there any differences parenting my sister versus me? And
yeah,
she said when we were younger, not really. But as we got older, she worried more about me physically and
yeah,
more about my sister like emotionally
yeah,
and like mentally, because the same thing, like she wasn't, I mean, we were both straight A students, like pretty good kids, but um she same kind of thing, like she never really worried about me sneaking off to go see boys or whatever. And then my
right,
sister, she was
yeah,
like, don't sneak off to go see boys. And I was like,
right,
why did you never tell me this? And she was like, are you kidding?
yeah,
Like, you won't do that. And I was like, she's like, how
yeah,
are you gonna get out the window? How tell me that?
no,
And I
literally,
was like, okay.
put down your
So
hair.
she was like, you're gonna break something jumping out. So
Yeah,
I will hear you. She's like, the prosthesis scraping against the wall is really gonna give it away. And I was like, okay, well,
not the
you didn't have to call me
prosthesis.
out like that, actually.
No, my power chair being like, when I turn it on, I'm like, no,
They're gonna
like,
be like, Addie, what are you doing? Where are
hello?
you going?
Yeah.
Hello?
It's almost, you know what I think is interesting about that too is like, I don't know if you could call it a jealousy or sort of just being
Mm.
envious of like wanting to get caught to sneak out or wanting to have those experiences of let me go to the
I
party and
almost want to try it now
misbehave.
as an adult and
No,
see if
literally,
she.
literally. Like, in like
I
the
sneak
Amish,
out.
like,
She sees me on the ring and she's like, what are you doing?
no,
Why are you?
like
Just go out the front door.
in like the TLC, it's like the Breaking Amish when they go on like a Rumspringa. We need like one of those to like disabled people who miss
Springer.
out on their adolescent years. Like
Just
it's like a
make your parents
Rumspringa.
act like it's a thing. Be like,
Yeah,
mom, be really mad at me, okay? Act
yeah.
really
I
mad
need
at
you to
me
get
when
in
I leave.
character right now. I'm leaving. I'm
I
sneaking
need
out,
you.
and I'm going to
Okay, so some
sneaky
notes
link.
first. Some notes. Are you listening? Are you some notes first? You need to make sure
Yeah.
that you get
You
really upset at me.
no, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Okay.
Yes.
No, like literally.
Okay.
Well, I already don't walk, so
Great.
that's there.
Step one.
Come on.
Um, yeah, I like want to come home like really drunk one time, and just see what my mom does. I'm like of legal age, and I just want to see what
Yeah.
like she would not she wouldn't really care. She'd be like, that was dumb
No.
of you. Maybe don't do that. But
No.
I would prep her ahead of time and be like, hey, when I come home, I need you to be so angry, so mad at me.
Like when my mom's my reader for self tape, I'm like getting character, getting character. I'm like, but not too much.
Mom,
You
get
know,
it together.
get it together.
I
Ugh.
can't do self tapes with my mom because she makes me laugh.
No, literally, I broke like four times the other day. It was like I accidentally procrastinated, and then she was like over my BS, and I do not have a loving partner who is a reader like you. So I'm like, mommy, I was like, mom, I
Mommy,
need you to be
please.
my
I
reader,
FaceTime my mom and I'm
please.
like, hey, so I need to do this audition. She's like, the one that's due tomorrow morning. And I'm like,
Tomorrow morning.
yeah, and
Oh,
Kaz is at work and and she's like,
I
so
feel attacked.
I need to read. And I'm like, yeah.
There was one, and I
Sorry.
couldn't stop breaking character, and she was like so over it, and it was like 9 p.m. and she's like, I want to go to bed, and she's like, nah, 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 like she was like listing a name, like so and so's this, so and so's that, and I just in the camera, like I'm like biting my like literally like biting my lip, and you can just see me like trying not to break. 'Cause all I wanted to do is be done. And I was like so over, and then she busted out laughing. I'm like, I literally cannot do this. I was like, I gotta
Literally,
lock
what am I
in.
supposed to do?
And then
I
she's like,
gotta
stop
log in.
laughing. And I'm like, you laughed at me because I'm laughing at
But you
you.
laughed first. What do you
Hello?
mean?
You did it
Yeah, my mom's like
first.
my bestie, and so anytime I'm like home and I have to do a self tape, which has happened before, I have to do a self tape. She's the only one there. I cannot do it with my sister because we're not gonna get anything done.
Okay.
She will make me laugh, but like too much to where we're just gonna give up.
Yeah.
So my mom, she is I'm gonna be careful with how I word this because she does watch this show. But she is the she's not an actor. Okay, I'll say that.
Listen, neither
So
is
when she
mine, and
reads
I love
things,
her.
and I love it, but it's difficult for me because when I'm acting, right, and she
Yeah.
says something like the line is like she just wants to go outside, and she's like she just wants to go outside, and I'm like, Mom, why are you actually
Yeah.
reading it that way?
I
For what?
truly, I need to not invest in a reader, but I literally, and I love it, because I'm able to like kind of ignore I mean, I'm sure it's not as great quality, like if it would be someone who's like actually also acting the scene, but I'm
Right.
usually okay to like reach for something, and I'm like, you know what, right now this is just a voice, like we're Gucci, but oh my god, the
We're
pain of
fine.
when you're trying not to laugh, it's so, oh
Ugh.
my god, I would die on SNL. I can dish jokes all day, but you put me there, I
I
am breaking.
cannot
I
take
don't know
them.
how y'all do it.
Mm-mm. I
I'm
don't
like, let
do
me just
well.
purge
I do
and
not
lie
do
down.
well. Mm-mm. I will break immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a real problem. Anyway, we got off on a tangent.
yeah.
So tell me about school and accommodations that were helpful for you. So you had an IEP. I never
I
qualified for an
did,
IEP. I only had a 504.
which is crazy to
I know
me.
that's what everyone says. That's what
How
everyone
did
says.
you know?
And that's what my mom said too. My mom got me tested multiple times in school because she was like, I don't understand. Like, how does she not
Yeah,
qualify? And every single time they said I didn't qualify for an IEP, I just qualified for a 504.
I.
So
That's so strange.
it's real weird. I don't know why. Um, I just kind of did the best with what I had.
Love
But
that.
I want you, thank you. I want you to explain what accommodations you used that you found helpful.
Yeah, gosh, I'm trying to think back because, oh
Like
god,
back in my
so
day.
back in the day, um, yeah, so I had a couple of things that were helpful. So with my IEP, we had different things built in. I had like your standard run of the mill, like extended time. I had a thing about receiving a scribe or being able to type something as opposed to writing it because my hands fatigue, and
Mm.
or like if I had a broken arm, I can't write. Um, and back in the day when this was, computers weren't mainstreamed as like you're being able to take notes on them or anything. It was like,
No,
paper,
we couldn't do
pencil
that.
times. No. So, and we literally had like a computer class. That's like, I think I'm a dinosaur. Like kids probably are like, oh my God, like you're a dinosaur.
You're only 2 years
So
older than me. I had to do,
I
my
know.
mom thought that typing was such an important skill, and it is very much so. But she bought, do you remember the desktops with the CDs, the ones you put
Yes.
the CDs in? Okay.
Yeah.
All the Gen Alpha is gonna be like, the what?
Huh? What's a
Um,
CD? A
what's a
CD
CD?
player.
But I had one of those, and it was probably like a monster of a laptop compared to what we all have now. But she
Flat
bought
screen
me like a
TV.
typing, she bought me like a typing like game thing that was like meant to
Oh.
teach kids how to type, and it
Oh,
taught me how to type so
interesting.
fast. Like, I credit my mom for how fast I am able to type. I type emails all day. That is what I do. I type
You're like,
video
this many words per
descriptions.
minute?
Yeah. So it paid off. But like, I was the same way. We also had to take like computer literacy classes in like
Yes.
elementary, middle school, because
Yes.
we knew how to get on the internet, but like taking notes, you were sitting
Mm-hmm.
on the carpet with the paper and the pencil. You were not,
Yeah.
or like you brought your chair to the front,
Yeah.
you all sat in rows. There was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And you were sitting there with a spiral notebook or a composition notebook and a pencil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Pretty much. So I
Never a
had that
laptop.
written in. No, never. And then like we got like Chromebooks later on in like high school. But
Yeah, that's what we did
so
too.
I had that, and then I had to go to like the resource room or in high school, it was like the learning center, which was basically like an intervention specialist was in there, and I always had a project to do that was not my business, and no one thought I had ADHD. So I would go around. I would go around, and in this room, so it was like lower support needs students on IEPs or 504s who didn't require specialized like education, like the typical special ed room. Which don't even get me started on the segregation of students in public school. But anyway, I digress. But I used to like make these boys in this class like my project. So like I'd be like, what? Like let me give you like I'd bring them like folders and I'd be like, you are unorganized, and I'd be like, here you go,
You
and then
organize.
I was so annoying.
Organize your backpack. Go.
No, and then you should have seen mine. Like the hypocrisy is astounding. But I would always like be chatting or running my mouth or like talking to like the different teachers in there. Like never ever was I doing my damn work. And they were like, use your time wisely, Addie. And I was like, dog, I can't believe that I made it until I was in my 20s without a ADHD diagnosis. And then when I asked my mom about it, she's like, we were just a little busy. Like we had other things going on. I'm like, my dad has it and my sister. And I used to have an encyclopedia of the insects in the Midwest, and I would go outside, and then no one said anything, or I need, what, like, y'all, I would be making projects for fun, convincing you why I need a dog in my resource room instead of doing my homework. I'd be like, I need a dog, and it needs to be this breed because of this. And then I'd do all this research. I'm like, I was a freak. I was a freak, and no
You're
one
like,
tested me
hello.
ADHD. Not that ADHD makes you a freak, but I was a freak. Okay, whatever. So anyway, I had those accommodations, and then with missing school, surgery, needing different bathrooms and stuff because um, I needed help. I usually like couldn't transfer myself, so I would need to be picked up a lot for a while. And this is where the crazy shit happened in middle school, man. So I had a cot room, which basically they took like one of those kindergartner cots that kids take nap times on, and I had that in like a storage closet, basically. And then in there I had like a little drawer thing, and it had like supplies, so like ace wraps, fracture pack, like medicine, and it was like a little alcove area where I could rest or stretch out if I needed to take a break. Your girl
I love that.
definitely started taking a break when she didn't want to go to class, so, and I didn't acknowledge
You're
that
like,
until
oh, math is in fourth period. Oh
no.
well.
Oh my god, it's
I
I'm
think
so
I
bad at
gotta
math.
go lay down.
I'm
I
like
gotta go.
I broke my tailbone all of a sudden.
My
Gotta get
hip
off my ass.
hurts real bad. Actually, I gotta
Let me get
go.
off my ass. Well, no, literally
Man.
though, in middle school, I had to lay flat because I had a hip issue. So that was a whole other thing. And
Mm.
anyway, but so I had stuff like that, and then I had accommodations for like bringing work home to do. And I don't know exactly. I should have asked my mom, like, if she remembers exactly how it was worded in my IEP, or if it was more like, let me ask and advocate, or my mom would advocate for me, and then I
Mm.
learned. That was always one of my goals, was for me to advocate for myself. And I
Oh
think they
my
put
God,
it
it was
on there.
everybody's goal. God, it
Girl,
was it
they
was
put it on
my
there.
goal. I had a whole thing.
Well, now they should be. They probably are like shit because now all I do is run my mouth and advocate. Like I'm like, did I make my goals? Do you? Did I?
And
Did
now
I?
I'm a disability activist. And now they're like,
No.
"Oh God."
You're like, oh, another one. Or like when you're
Like, damn it,
sweeping
what did we
your
do?
Instagram bio, like sussing out actor, singer after dancer, activist, ally, activist. Like what? Anyway,
I
yeah,
know,
no.
my
So
mom
I
is
don't
probably
know.
like, "Man, we should not have taught her how to do that."
Well,
Actually.
I and sometimes I have to tell my mom to get a grip. I'd be like, Mom, I got it. Like simmer down. But yeah, I don't even know what else
Sit
is
down.
on there. Honestly, I said just like your run of the mill stuff, and then a couple
Mm.
extra because I was missing. I missed a lot of school.
Yeah, so did I.
But I always had got great grades. So
I'm a one-woman show. That means that I write all of these scripts, film all of these videos all by myself. But I also have a team of amazing editors. And as you can imagine, it costs some money to be a 23-year-old entrepreneur. So that's why I started a Ko-Fi. And so many of you were asking how you can support me being able to do what I love and make videos for all of you. That's why I started a Ko-Fi. If you head on over to my Ko-Fi and drop a donation, you automatically become a representation booster. And I shout out one representation booster in my weekly YouTube video. So head on over to my Ko-Fi, drop a donation, and who knows, maybe next week I'll shout you out. Back to the video.
Yeah, I got great grades till like high school, and then I stopped caring. Because I was
okay.
like, "Hey, so I'm over it," and I was like, "I actually hate it here."
Were you in
I
high
hate.
school during the pandemic?
I graduated in 2020.
Okay, because I graduated in 2019, so I
Yeah,
was a
so you're
freshman in
Kaz's age.
college. Yeah,
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 you and Kaz graduated the same year.
yeah.
Yeah, I graduated in 2020, which was so fun.
In the
Um,
arms of an angel.
truthfully, it was real bad. Yeah, so yeah, I hated high school. Hated it. I
Oh
actually
yeah.
found every single excuse in the book to not go to school. During high school, I
You
was
said
like,
Ferris Bueller
I'm in
has no
a,
tummy.
I'm in a lot of pain today. I gotta go lay down
My
actually
back.
until about 11 a.m. And now
Yeah.
it's too late to go to school. There's only 3 hours left. Dang it.
Oh no.
So dang it. So
Ah,
I missed a lot of school. And some of that pain was actually, I was just always in pain, so all
yes,
of it
me
was
too.
valid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did have some like pretty serious health issues also happen. I was still
Yeah.
in and out of the hospital pretty frequently in high school.
Oh yeah.
And
It's a
because
Canada
of how
thing.
much school I missed, I was like a C average student. So I wasn't like failing, but I wasn't
Yeah.
like excelling. And then I got into college and I was like, I actually love it here and I never want to leave. And now I have a 3.98 GPA. So
That's
I was like,
amazing.
because I was doing things that I loved. But in
Yeah.
high school, I didn't like the people.
No.
So
It's a horrible time. And truly, high school's a not to scare anyone in high school. You're gonna be fine, but it's
you're
not
okay. We
fun.
survived.
Yeah. But like I swear to God, some of the things like that kids did in high school, I I mean, I even and then what's so funny too is when you have like haters or whatever from high school or like the school bullies and you're like, where are they now? And then you look at like the things that they bullied you about. Like for instance, these girls bullied me when I was in the musical, and then I went on to study theater, and then like I'm a professional actor with like representation, and I get to do really cool things, and like the things that I'm lucky to have the opportunity to even audition for. Like I'm like y'all can kind of go choke kindly because you guys are mean, and then look what happened to me.
Yeah, truthfully, the people who bully people in high school, like all my high school bullies, I check in on them regularly on Facebook. I really do.
Same. That's why it's
My
like being a
high
teacher.
school, yeah, like, man, I love what you're doing over there,
You have how
pregnant
many
with your
kids?
second child. Love it. Not a thing the
No
same,
hate.
same time.
No hate. No hate.
One of my, I'm like, if you want to have children, get it, girl. Love it for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like absolutely, start that family.
Love.
However, one of my high school bullies was my high school guidance counselor, and
Oh, not the.
and that's the
Ooh.
T. And she follows me on all platforms now.
You know what?
So
She's a fan.
she is a fan.
Why are okay? Side. No, I don't know. This is sending us somewhere.
Go girl.
Why are some of the people that are supposed to be educators actually your biggest op? Like I swear to God,
and that's the truth.
I need to get better at making content. So one of the things I was gonna make was like a list of crazy things people have said to me, but it's all to do with the theater. And I swear to God, I would have had an easier time at my high school getting my ass on the football field like Artie in Glee and actually playing a real game than it was for me to be in a musical. Like
Right.
I swear to God, I could have rolled my ass out. Hey coach, can you put me in, coach? And he would have been like, absolutely. The
He'd
fucking
have been like, and now taking the field is the most inspirational player we have.
inspirational. Like everyone, like sweater. You know,
They're just throwing themselves on the ground.
Oh my God. Actually, they're like, let's let her tackle. Like, give her like 20
Let's
extra minutes.
do it.
He has extended time. He has extended time.
It's an
an
IV.
I can't. Oh my God.
Yeah, I had my high school guidance counselor when we were going over the colleges that I was applying to in like junior year, or that I wanted to apply to. All of them were out of state because I was like, please get me out of Washington State. I'm done. And all of them were out of state. I was like, get me out. I'm over it. And my mom was like, she's just gonna go. Like she's out of here. And I brought all of these colleges that I wanted to apply to my high school guidance counselor. All of them were out of state except for like one that was my safety school. And she was like, so all of these are out of state. Are you sure with your disability that you can move out of state? Like, maybe let's choose something a little more realistic. And I was like, okay.
Are you sure that you're a counselor?
Yeah, correct. And then she was like, well, are you sure that like theater is the route we want to go down?
Oh,
and I was like,
my God.
yes, actually, I think it would be great for me. And that's what I want to do with my life. And she was like,
and then you're haunting her on her TV.
Yeah. That part on her screen everywhere she goes.
Yeah.
It's real interesting. Yeah, they did not like me in high school. The principal hated me, and my mom was his living nightmare. Like every time that I had something go wrong, she would march down to that school. The second she came in those doors, I swear I could feel the whole world just go.
No, literally, my mom too. We gotta introduce our moms because
I think our moms would be besties.
Oh, I agree.
It is.
My mom marched her ass, called the phone, email. I mean, everyone was like, not this girl again. Like, they're probably like,
my mom memorized the ADA, I swear.
Good
she
for
did.
her.
She was like, and in section 501.5, under Article 3, it says that's actually illegal and you can't ask that.
Well, like, my mom, when I was going to go to elementary school, the school that I was district to go to was not accessible. And they told my mom that they could carry me up and down the stairs. And my mom was like, absolutely fucking not. And also, like, I have brittle bones. So anyway, they paid for me to go to a private, like, school, and then they redistrict like our district. That's what that means. I don't know why I had to say it twice.
Yeah.
And then like the school that I went to then for like first grade, I could get in, but I was like, you know, I'm sure she was their worst nightmare with that. Like, what the hell do you mean you're gonna carry me? Girl,
Mm-mm.
bye.
Yeah, my mom would have thrown a fit over that. She would
No.
have been like, "You're gonna what?" No,
Yeah.
absolutely
Have
not.
you ever seen the show The Goldbergs?
I
You know, like
have.
the so my dad calls my mom Goldberg. Like when she gets her like hat
It's
on,
true.
he goes, "Here come Goldberg," and I was like,
I think her name is Beverly in the show.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
my
not
mother
bad.
is Beverly.
Yeah.
My mom is Beverly. Yeah. Or the show Speechless, my mother is Maya.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. And then look at us. Look at us go, running our mouth.
I know. This whole episode is just about our moms and our
Yeah.
sisters, honestly.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're an actor. Talk a little bit
I
about
am.
how you found yourself in this career.
Well, it all started in the year of our Lord, 7th grade, once again.
Oh my god. Everything started for you in the
You
year
know,
of our Lord 7th
the
grade,
year of
didn't
our
it?
Lord, 2012, 2013.
Circa
No,
2012.
circa 20. When the world was supposed to end, and then I got diagnosed with OCD because I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Oh
Anyway,
my god.
no,
And you didn't make the slut list, and it was a whole
no, I did
thing.
not make the slut list or the cast list. Goddamn, I'm just kidding. No, I made the cast list
No.
that
Oh,
year.
slay.
No, okay, so
Nightmare.
I never shut up. And then I would sing and bop around. And then I had this neighbor who did the musical. And my mom was like, "You should do that." And I was like, "Hell nah." And somehow I ended up getting like pushed to go audition. And it was Seussical Jr. And I was a bird, a fish, and a who. And I had this is so cheesy, but I have this moment where I remember feeling like overwhelmed with like pride and happiness, and it felt like I was glowing from the inside out. And it was the first
In your
time
little
that
fish costume.
yeah, in my fish costume. No, they made my wheelchair into like a little bus. It was really cute. I don't know, I don't have a photo, but I can find one later and see if you could put it in, I don't know, edit,
Yeah, send
put
it
it
to
in
me.
post. Um, but I have these, this was like a formative experience because I remember for the first time, people approaching me and talking to me or looking at me because I like
Was the
consented to it.
best damn bird that they'd
Literally.
ever seen.
Yeah. I literally,
I love it.
like, people complimented me and they were staring at me and watching me because I was performing. And I was like, oh my God. And my family is super athletic, and my sister played travel basketball growing up. And I tried a lot of adaptive sports. It was not my thing. Um, I'm not a sport girl. I'm very competitive, though, and I'm very athletic. And so when I started realizing that you could be competitive in theater, that was when it changed. So I remember going to start taking voice lessons, and then I auditioned for the next musical, and then I kept going, and then I some would do community theater, and I would just do vocal competitions, and I was like racking up my experience in theater, and I fell in love with it. And then I had a couple formative experiences when I was in high school that were horrible, that were to do with theater, like really bad examples of, or really excellent examples of ableism, but really bad,
Yeah, me
for,
too.
you
What
know,
is up with high school theater?
I don't know, but things were said and done, and there was like another student that had Down syndrome that was doing a show with me, and I saw how he was treated, and I remember like wanting to start my own theater company. And I was like, ooh, I love this. And up to this point, I'd always thought I would like be a vet or like do like genetics or science because I loved science. And then it just like hit me and I was like, I think I want to study theater. And it started with the intention to have my own company. And then it quickly changed the more competitive I got. And I realized, like, I might actually be okay at this. And then I was, like, winning at competition, like, voice competitions. And I was like, this is, like, I think I should keep going and keep doing it. And so I auditioned for a couple different schools around me because I wasn't able to live independently. And so, unfortunately, I had to commute. And so I didn't have a ton of options. So I got into like a BFA school by me. But when I went, I didn't feel like it was the right fit. I felt like I was like a number and they were like collecting me like a diversity trading card maybe. And it just didn't feel right. And then I went to my college, which is a whole separate episode, but I studied theater and then kept going. And then I went out to LA and I sang in um, the talent showcase that was at Rolette's. And then, like, somehow somebody worked for a company, like, sponsoring, and her kids are actors. And then she was like, have you thought about voice acting? And I was like, low key, I've always wanted to do that. Everyone's like, you sound like a cartoon, like that'd be great. And then she like sent my video to someone, and then I ended up like getting set up with the agent meeting, and then here I am. And you can hire me if you're watching.
And if you need an actor for anything, you can actually find me.
Actually, yeah, find both of us, actually.
Yeah. Actually, in the same thing, that'd be great.
I'm 4'1", so my view is not quite 4'3". However, it is still a good time. It is still a good time, okay?
I love it.
No, but yeah, so and then I was like, my senior year of college, like going to I went to a school where I got a BA, which doesn't really matter what you get, but it does when they don't, like, no one else, like I didn't have any education on like navigating like an agent or like what the hell do I do? I'm in like bumfuck Ohio, and what does that look like for me? And so they ended up like working with me as I was finishing school, and then of course naturally all of the strikes happened, so it was a lovely time to have an agent and start my career. But yeah, so I live here in Ohio, and I made my debut here, which was such a full circle moment because I saw Ali Stroker there when she was doing spelling bee right before she booked Oklahoma. And so that was like the first time I saw someone in a wheelchair perform, and I got to meet her. I was like a junior or senior in high school. And then years later, that was my contract that I booked at that theater. And then when I would go to my lunch break, I would see her photo on the wall above like the microwave. And I like literally got chills because I'm like, what a full circle moment. And then I saw her again this summer and got to talk to her. We had like the same stage manager, and we were like, oh my gosh, how's so and so? And it was like coworkers, but with someone who I idolize and look up to, who changed the game for a lot of us. And like we worked at the same place. Like younger me who was bullied and treated horribly in high school would literally pass away if she saw what we did now. Like, and so I'm just so grateful to have the opportunities that I have and kind of be starting out my career, and I'm excited. I want to do more things. So call me. I do weddings. I'm just kidding. I don't do weddings. But
I will sing at your wedding if the price is right.
Here's Cassie being from Washington. The Twilight.
You're like, and now introducing the bride.
You're like, here comes like the new live action, and you're like coming out of there. What's the lady's name? Like Renesmee, and she's got like, come on, disability representation. Like,
how did she become disabled?
Yeah, well, she's a vampire and a person, and all the
and disabled at the same time.
And the whole experience gave her scoliosis. You gotta get a spinal fusion ASAP.
I think she had to get a spinal fusion.
What?
I think we should rewrite the Twilight series. So that
No, and
Renesmee
everyone
is
has a
disabled,
disability.
actually.
No, hear me
Right.
out, okay? Everyone is disabled, okay? And what makes them
I agree.
what like why are they not disabled and or gay?
Right.
Sorry.
No, I agree.
Like there's no
Sorry.
plot if someone is
Sorry, not
not
sorry.
disabled.
Hello.
Like that's where the action is. The
It's
gays
true.
and the crips.
It's true.
Sorry.
Man, I have so many title options for this episode.
Oh my gosh.
There are so many things.
Sorry to overwhelm you.
Yeah, I have the gays and the crips, and then I also have
The gays.
the slut list, and
No, the
then
slut list in 7th grade? Navigating relationships.
navigating the slut list,
Navigating
featuring Addie
hardship as a
Wisniewski.
preteen. A flat-chested disabled preteen
I love
with
it.
her broken leg and a dream.
And the dream. Wow, look at that. I love it. Truthfully, nice work. Okay, my very last question for you is: what advice would you give younger
Oh.
disabled people that might be in this is similar positions that we were in you know, in our youth? We're still in our youth, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I am in my youth. Do not age me. Do not. You know,
I'm not that old.
it is so cliche and so annoying, and I probably would hate this advice if I was a kid. But I think kind of understanding who you are
Mm.
and what you want. And I'm not saying you have to decide, like, because we never know where life's going to take us, but know who you are in here. Because when you know who you are, you can kind of navigate the world in a way that makes it kind of like opens the world up to be the world is your oyster, for lack of a better word. And I think too, like surgery, like if you're someone who has a bunch of surgeries, you know, like it eventually gets easier, and it may not get easier. It may in fact get worse. But I think knowing who you are and what you want and kind of visualizing like the future is unlimited, and you have the ability to create the life that you want to have. I think if and it's so stupid and cliche, and you're like, oh, please don't like, oh wow, like follow my dreams. But I think truly, like finding out like who you are and what you want, you know, like focusing on something. I think um, you don't have to get passionate about it, but having a passion helps. I don't know, just like keep doing it, keep going, you know? Find community. That's something that is so much easier to do now than it was when I was young and you were
True.
young. I mean, like, I'm sure so many people listening have probably found this through community or found like
I
friends
agree.
online, finding people with similar diagnoses or not is also fine. But yeah, sharing experiences is really helpful too. And I didn't have that a lot till I was a little bit older. So I don't know, man. You know, you just gotta know who you are.
Know who you are. Oh, the way that's be who you are.
Yeah.
Be who you are. Um, yeah. I couldn't agree more. I think that the key is knowing who you are,
Yeah.
and that will help you be able to navigate the world around you, and also realize that I know it's so cheesy. Everybody says this, it's so cliche, but it really does get better. It really does. High
Yeah.
school, middle school, public school, they all suck. Okay. Everything
Yeah.
sucks when you're a child. Like you're developmentally changing, you're physically changing, and the world around you is just moving so fast, and you're constantly trying to compare yourself, and it's just a really awkward, weird time
Yeah.
always. So know who you are, but also realize that things are going to change and things are going to
Yeah.
get better where you are.
Yeah.
And you're going to
I
find it.
found,
You're going to figure it out.
yeah. I think, like, there's so many moments I remember, like, feeling like absolutely no one understood me, and, I'm laying in bed recovering from a surgery, or I, like, broke something on a day that was supposed to go, like, be something completely separate, And then, sorry, I got a text and I completely got, um, but I'm laying, like, you're laying there having a terrible time. But then, like, when you look back on it, right, it's like, not that everything happens for a reason, but I think that when we go through hardships or challenges, it makes us as disabled people more savvy and more confident and more determined in a non-inspiration porn way to, like,
Yeah.
not take no for an answer.
Right. Yeah, I think having so many surgeries for me personally now, no matter what happens, I'm like, okay, well, I just did that. So
Yeah.
literally, I could do pretty much anything at this point.
No, I need to remind
Any
myself of
minor
that.
thing that goes wrong is I'm like, well, this sucks. However,
Yeah.
I
Remember
am
that
still
one
alive.
time I almost died? Yeah.
Remember
Truly.
that one
Yeah.
time? Yeah, I think remembering that you've already gone through so much and you're continuing to learn and grow and change. And I think that I just constantly remind myself of that, being like, well, I've gone through this, so
Yeah.
I can do pretty much
Yeah.
anything right now.
Yeah.
Not like anything,
yeah.
because I am still disabled. However,
Yeah.
I can
I mean, you can
figure
give it
out
a
how to do
whirl.
almost anything.
Yeah. I just, yeah, it's a lot going through incredibly um challenging things. And
Yeah.
but I mean, I live to tell a tale, sometimes barely.
True.
But here we are.
Sometimes not
Sometimes,
really, but it's okay.
yeah, sometimes it was giving, I'm gonna come and haunt you. But that's okay.
But that's okay. Addie, where can people find you?
Um, you can find me on Instagram. I don't know how you edit, but I can. Oh, my Instagram is. I was like, here's like a little, like, when on YouTubers they used to be like, you can find me here, here, and
Click
here.
here.
No, my Instagram.
My editor will put that in. I will tell him to
Yeah,
do that right now.
Instagram underscore Addie underscore Joe. My TikTok. I really need to unify my stuff, but my TikTok is Addie.
Not you having to look it up.
I had a zero. It doesn't. It's Addie
Addie.
Joe Wiz. Listen, okay, we're working on this. Listen, get your ducks in a row with social media. I gotta get mine in a row. My ducks are currently in a zigzag, so they're on their way. But no, Addie Joe Wiz. And then yeah, that's where I'm at. You can, if you're ever in Cleveland, Ohio, you can also find me there. But I'm not gonna give you my
Maybe let's
address
not,
because
actually.
y'all are freaks. Y'all
Maybe
are
let's
freaks.
not.
Come to Ohio. We had the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and LeBron James, and then Jeffrey Dahmer, where he grew up, was like 20 minutes away. So.
Okay, so
Well,
maybe let's stop there.
Iowa.
Oh
You
my
want to see some
god,
trees?
Addie. I think we should go so that Addie can go put her sling on.
I know, I'm whipping that arm around and I'm gonna be, okay. Wear your mobility aids, friends. Wear them.
Wear
Okay,
them.
it's not gonna ruin your outfit or ruin your vibe. It's what will ruin your vibe is when you are in pain. So
True.
that is actually
That kills every vibe.
That's the vibe killer right there.
That it is true. All right, well, Addie, thank you so much for joining me,
Thank
and
you
thank
for having
you,
me.
And thank you for watching and
And
listening
yeah.
to this episode of The View
Yay.
from 4 Feet and 3 Inches. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Give me a 5-star rating depending on where you're watching or listening. Comment down below on what you learned from Addie, because I know I learned a lot and I love her and she will most likely be back.
Love it.
Love.
Yeah.
Make sure to go follow me on all my other platforms, because I do post on Instagram, Facebook Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts every single day. I have a podcast that comes out every Sunday, out everywhere you listen to podcasts, and in a YouTube vlog. There we go. A YouTube vlog that comes out every week on Wednesdays. Make sure to go follow my Patreon, because the Patreon got to see this episode before you did. And I know you want to see episodes early and also unreleased content that never gets released anywhere else other than over there. We have a lot of fun over there. So head on over and check me out on Patreon. Go get your merch. Also listed down below. We have a lot of different designs. And thank you so much for watching and listening. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.